if there's some extra sounds coming in. I'm recording this down at the beach in my car, so I guess everyone has been thinking about this virus recently, and it is pretty chaotic. I'm worried about businesses, the future. It's very, very unpredictable at the moment. And there's not much you can do other than try and stay isolated for the most of it. A lot of people, I'm watching people at the moment, and they're kind of going around as if there's nothing going on at all. This day-to-day life is just continuing. But I think that's going to ramp up pretty soon. I saw that, like, Bondi Beach in Australia, Sydney, people were ignoring the rules, and now it is closed. Like, there was a photo of just the beach was full, and we were supposed to be putting into effect these social distancing, because you don't know who has it, you don't know how fast this thing is spreading, and I personally wouldn't want to catch it. Fucking idiots. Yeah, I just hope this is a relaxing video. But what I'm going to talk about is my thoughts, my I don't know if they're concrete evidence or whatever. I'm just going to say stuff. I'll tell you a little bit about I'm so glad that I managed to go on holiday before this all happened. I went away in the last week of January on holiday, and I was really needing it. I really desperately wanted a break. I hadn't been away for years, like 3 years, and that was really annoying me. And I didn't think I could travel. I'd lost touch with it, so I really wanted to get out and see the world, see something else that wasn't home. And it was very beneficial to me. But I could see in the airports, on the way back, everyone was wearing these masks, and a lot of there was huge lines, and I was stopped by the bomb dog or something. I always get stopped, and I had nothing to worry about, but it just delayed my experience, I was late anyway as it was. That's another story, but I could see that this was like February the 1st or the 2nd, and it was the news was of this disease in China was spreading. It was very small. But what annoys me is that the Chinese were, not the Chinese people, the government of China have suppressed information, and if people knew how serious this thing was and how contagious it was, I think people would have acted differently. People would have been more prepared. It's just devastated Italy. I was watching a video on the hospital crisis there, and it is absolutely shocking. And I feel for the doctors who have to deal with this, and they wouldn't know. They'd be at very high risk of catching this thing. And some people say it's just like the flu times 10. But some people might have underlying health issues, and I think young people can die from this as well. And I was also thinking, I'm a big fan of, if you don't know them, Tim and Eric. Tim Heidecker, he's a comedian, and I listen to his podcast, and it gets me through, makes me laugh all the time. It gets me through difficult times. And why did I bring that up? It's just it's spread very quickly, and the Chinese government, the first people, the journalists who brought this up, they were trying to investigate it and alert the world of this disease in Wuhan. They disappeared. And no one's heard of them since. So I find it hard to believe that any information coming out of China is accurate. I don't see how a place with 1 billion people have just pretty much recovered from this thing. It's very hard to believe. But I think getting back to the Tim Heidecker podcast, I was listening to their most recent podcast, and it said that this could be the dress rehearsal for what's coming next, the big one. There could be something even worse coming after this, and the disease itself could mutate, and this isn't making for a very peaceful podcast, but not podcast, ASMR video, but someone had asked me in the comments, what's your thoughts on the coronavirus, and I thought, I've been thinking about it for a while. I am just living in precaution, trying to limit my social. I'm kind of enjoying it a bit, being in my own space, because I love being my own person. I don't need people around me. But seeing it unfold, I am worrying about a lot of things. People losing their superannuation, and businesses going out of business because they just don't have customers. Like restaurants, and all these people losing their jobs. It's very sad. And who knows how long it will take to recover. I think the disease is only half of it. And, there really is no escaping dealing with the negative aspects of this thing, because they are here. We have to kind of deal with it and help each other. And the hoarding, it just disgusts me. Absolutely disgusts me. They've kind of fucked it for everyone else. Every shop I've gone into, I cannot find tissues or toilet roll. It's just absolutely obscene. And and the way I saw it, just one day I went to the shops and there was nothing there. There was no toilet rolls. I think I made a video the day it happened, and I just went, what the hell is going on? And how did people know to buy toilet roll? How did this become a thing? I think like relatives from, if you were living in China, that news got out that these items were going to be very scarce. So then all these idiots went out and stocked up on these items, and then they became so scarce. Like, even if you go to the shops at 9 a.m. here, the shelves are completely empty. Like, they're saying that we have the supplies, but we don't have the manpower to put them on the shelves. That's kind of, I find that hard to believe. Like, every time I go in there, there's nothing there. It's like nothing has changed. It's like they haven't had stock for weeks. And it's pretty worrisome. Like, if people don't behave themselves, it stuffs it up for the rest of us. If everyone just acted like normal and didn't go crazy, and a lot of them think it was funny at the beginning. But it has stuffed everything up. So I think the disease is only half of it. I think the social impacts of this, a lot of people are having to go without things that they need. Hospitals are getting clogged up. People are being turned away, and it's very confusing time. And don't think the criminals are going to take a break, because they won't. It's an interesting time to be alive. I'll say that. This is, I've never experienced anything like this. SARS it never really was that much of a problem. It wasn't to this extent anyway. All these helicopters flying around. So I don't know if this was what you guys wanted, in terms of me talking about Corona. But what this has done is I've got a lot of time to make videos, and it's just been a matter of uploading all of my footage from my iPhone to the computer and then editing that. My computer's very slow, so it takes ages to edit anything. But I hope this has been interesting. Just hoping you guys stay safe and stay out of trouble. Don't let this thing get you down. Things will go back to normal as long as you stay healthy and just don't overspend or anything. I think everyone will be okay. But these type of things, they will increase because, and I think there's a TED talk on the coronavirus, and they were saying that we pump so many antibiotics into these animals, and that we are using so many antibiotics anyway, that it's becoming harder to fight these diseases when they do happen, when they just come out of nowhere. So yeah, hopefully things improve quickly. The governments have kind of stumbled over themselves, and it's just like you've got to stay safe and watch out and don't be an idiot and go out and buy. Don't ruin it for everyone. So I'm sure people who listen to this have sound mind and they don't do stupid shit like that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if anything else comes to my mind, I will talk about it. It's almost like doomsday. It's almost like a doomsday movie. We'll see how things play out.